Hey guys, so today we're going to go through a cryptocurrency called Offshift. It's part of the narrative that's going on right now in crypto, which is privacy in DeFi. That's one of the big narratives that are coming up, in my opinion, is ZK rollups and privacy. It's what's needed to move DeFi forward and out of just the over collateralized loans, which is basically the only thing DeFi is over collateralized loans and then staking, farming, that kind of stuff. And we need to move into, I guess they're calling it PriFi, and it's a place in DeFi where you can put your social security number or your bank statements and get actual loans that the lender can have a little bit more information about who they're giving money to, which will allow them to give money that's not over collateralized, meaning that you're not putting up $10,000 just to get $7,000 back. That's how DeFi currently works, because the only way that I would give you money is if I know that you've given me more, so that you're not going to go steal it. Or if you do steal it, then you lose money. You lost $3,000. And so what this does is it allows you to either garnish wages or do something to the person like a traditional loan. They have your bank statements, they can underwrite you, they know where you live, they know all this stuff about you, your social security number, and that doesn't work on the traditional blockchain. So this is where DeFi is heading. ZK rollups solve two problems. They sort of help with the fees that are on Ethereum right now, and allow L2s to do what they need to do, and also enable this sort of private DeFi thing. And so there's a couple coins, Offshift, Dusk is another one, and Rose is another one. So these are three coins that are working in the same area. I've done a video on Rose, I've done a video on Dusk, and now it's time for Offshift. So let's dive in. So Offshift is another private DeFi. We can start with the tokenomics or the coins. It's a $75 million market cap. That's pretty low. So there's a lot of room to grow. We can check out the coin perspective, Offshift, and we want to know, let's just say it gets to Oasis price, Rose, 17x. That's pretty big. And Oasis is not even big yet, right? So it's like if we wanted to compare it to Matic, let's say, 170x. That's big time money right there. So that could be your next 100x coin. Not financial advice, but it's definitely in the running to have a narrative that makes sense. Private derivatives have arrived. That's another interesting thing. It's not just lending, but derivatives, on-chain derivatives. You don't want to have an order book that's visible to everyone, because if you're doing options and stuff like that, some of the bigger whales will know what price your liquidation price is at, and they can hit that and bounce it off, and really do a lot of damage. Not damage, they make money, you lose money. So that's why private derivatives are pretty important. So you want all the information public and you want it verified, but you don't want it to be seen by everyone in real time. That doesn't really work. Stress-free trading, so one-to-one collateral, over-collateralization is not capital efficient. Very true, because if I have $10,000, I mean, there are certain scenarios where it does work, but if I have 10K and I want to lock that up to get 7K, I do actually have $17,000 working, right? If you lock up Ethereum, you have a bet on Ethereum, and then you can pull out a stable coin like Tether. Now you have $17,000 in which you go take that extra 7, put it back into Ethereum. Now you have 17,000 in Ethereum. But over collateralization is not an ideal way. Like if I'm trying to buy a house, let's say, and I need $1 million. Well, if I had $1 million and I wouldn't need an over-collateralized loan, I would just go use my $1 million and buy the house. So it's adding another form of leverage or risk that you don't really need. Zero slippage, no order books, no liquidity concerns, zero slippage. That's pretty cool. I skipped this one. Elastic supply model, the XFT. Supply self-balances to account for price fluctuations. Relegating? I don't know if that's the right word. Margin calls and liquidations to nuisance of the past. That I I don't fully understand that yet, so we'll see. Rug pull proof DeFi. Meaning what? A platform with hard-coded integrity. At Offshift, we don't mess around with trust, we code it. Our team's wallets are fully transparent, our vesting rates are slow and gradual. Cool, that's tokenomics. Lockboxes have been secured for on-chain reserves and LP token alikes, so our users know rug pulling has been coded out. So lockboxes have been secured for on-chain reserves. Okay, so like the foundation is locked up with their LP tokens as well. We got the white paper, the yellow paper. I've never heard about that. The roadmap, we're going to check that out. Keep up to date with all the things. Offshift, cool. So they're in Sushi Swap. Moonbeam integration, which is Polkadot. Zokyo, never heard about them. Confidential token development. Team, doesn't look like they're doxed, which is not necessarily a good thing. It looks like I'd like to have some pictures there. And it's just first names, Johnny, George, Jimmy, and Alex. Okay, that's an okay thing, but not the best. So it's on Uniswap, 1inch, Balancer, SushiSwap, all decentralized exchanges, so it's not, well, we don't know. Let's go see if it's on a centralized exchange. No, all decentralized exchanges, which is cool. I personally trade on DEXs. I don't like trading on centralized exchanges. Let's see. So it's got a good narrative. Let's check out the Discord. Continue to Discord, join Offshift, change us to Discord. Let's check it out. Oh, it's doing it on here. Oh no, that was right. Offshift. Cool, now we're in. How many people we got in here? 178 online. How many offline? 713. So not a huge Discord, honestly. Not a huge Discord. Let's check out the Twitter really quick. Let's just go over the basics of what we would look for. Off shift. And then we're going to also check. So we want to see how recent things. Okay, 19 minutes, but then 8 hours, right? So that's not the best in terms of like people talking about it all the time. 19 minutes, 39 minutes, 42 minutes, an hour. Okay, so that's good. What are people saying? Vader, XFT, Metis. Right, so a lot of people are bullish on Rose, bullish on Metis. XFT is another one in their portfolio. There's actually a video I saved that I wanted to check out. We're going to just go XFT. Maybe we'll do this live. No. Oh, it's one of these videos. All right, well, we will find which one it is. Oh, here it is. Really like this creator on YouTube. Shout out to...
What's going on, everybody?
Joining us, the original participants of
Shout out to CTO Larson.
We had the vision to see what was going to happen
Good stuff.
before it happened.
Today we will cover a project called Offshift XFT that has gone about 10x versus Ether the past week.
All right, so I want to just check out the chart. We'll leave that open. Cool. XFT. Offshift. Wrapped Ether. All right, so this is going to be a tough chart to do because we don't have. And we'll move it to. All right, it is in an uptrend. So it's funny because all these coins that I'm sort of looking at, Dusk, Metis, Rose, and Offshift, they're all in an uptrend, even though the majority of crypto, if you look at all the big projects like Ohm, dying right now, Solana, getting crushed. But these are doing pretty well. I mean, they are going down from sort of their all-time highs, which was a couple days ago. They're definitely hitting a roadblock. Near down as well. But they still are in a general uptrend. So that's interesting. It tells me that there's a narrative and money shifting into them. even though the whole sort of crypto ecosystem is going down in price, there's more people that are going into these as the narrative shifts from or to sort of L2 solutions for Ethereum's fee problem, ZK rollups, and privacy. Those are sort of the next evolutions, in my opinion. And we can also check out a couple other coins like Secret on Cosmos Network. I see that coming up a lot. So yeah, I think that's sort of the narrative that's going on. There's obviously going to be gaming, and metaverse is going to be a big narrative. But in terms of the technology narratives that are moving around and the new innovations that are happening, a lot of them are happening in the privacy space. So let's keep checking
because
this
they're
out.
approaching their launch. You told me to ape in with all my money into some small cap and then hold it all the way down. Really? I said that? Oh, I must have missed it myself. And by the way, it's a project that tries to do...
We're going to do this. Oh, whoops. I wasn't on the right thing. We're going to do this fast, though. So I throw these videos in speed it up mode because there's a lot of stuff to get through. And I just want to get the information. I'll stop and slow it down if there's anything interesting.
Something that no one else has done before. I'm sure there's not going to be any hiccups or challenges along the way. It's going to be a straight line up. To now I've lost money. So let me make one thing absolutely clear. I am not advising you to buy this project or anything else. I followed this project for, I think, close to 2 years, 1.5 years at least. And there's one thing that they do differently, which I think is interesting. While Haven XFT run their own blockchain, Offshift XFT, they are developing their application to run on top of Ethereum and also on Moonbeam's EVM-compatible Polkadot. So that solves one problem, because one problem with running your own blockchain is that you can get 51% attacked. And if they actually get this working, they solve that problem, because it's very difficult to 51% attack Ethereum. I tweeted some of this, but the reason that I didn't talk about this one was that I was a little bit worried that it was just talk, that there wasn't really any development that led to anything. But now there's actually been some progress, and I suppose that's what's led to the run up in price. Because they have launched a pilot. It's very techy. You have to basically run Docker, install your image, and so on and so forth. And even I've been too lazy to do this at this point. And they have said that this pilot should evolve into mainnet, slated for Q1 2022. It's a small, relatively unknown project, 7,500 followers on Twitter only. So this sounds very exciting then. Yeah, I think it is. But there are two things that concerns me. The first one is that they haven't launched yet. We don't know if they get it working. And as you've seen so many times in crypto, it's easy to make plans, it's easy to make pilots, it's easy to make something work on testnet. But when you put it on the mainnet, there's real money on the line, and new problems tend to surface, things that maybe you hadn't thought about. And the second problem is slightly related to that, actually. Let's look here. The team has published a long and very well-written article about the role of the platform tokenomics and supply elasticity. And it basically just explained the Haven model. And at least to me, the interesting thing with this project isn't the model, because the model isn't new. That's been around now for a couple of years. The interesting thing is the implementation, that they do it on another, more established blockchain instead. And they've written here that it should be noted that Offshift is not the first DeFi platform to deploy a native token with an elastic supply model. It is merely the first to do so in conjunction with the burn and mint, collateral management, and layer 1 privacy. No.
All right, let's go back and check that out now. It should be known that Offshift is not the first DeFi platform to deploy a native token with an elastic supply. Okay, so this is tokenomics. This is not talking about the technology, so we don't really care.
Model. It is merely the first to do so in conjunction with the burn and mint, collateral management, and layer 1 privacy. No, it's not the first to do that. Haven is. It's exactly the same. And what worries me here a little with this article isn't that you try to market a little bit extra. That is fine. You try to push your message. You don't need to talk about your competitors. What worries me is if you're not aware of the problems that actually came with this model, that we have seen playing out right now in the Haven, that there is a way to game this model of having something listed on an exchange at the same time as you can burn and mint with infinite supply and no price slippage in vault type construction, or like here called ZK assets. Because that's really what the Haven team have been struggling with to try to figure out with the new tokenomics model and all the mitigation tactics to try to solve this. And in this very long and very well-written article here, there's not a word mentioned about this. Maybe they have talked about it, maybe they have some solutions, I just haven't seen it. I did try to ask them on Twitter, but I did not get any response. Maybe it's been sorted out already, great then. But this is really the challenge now with this model, and I feel that this may be not taken seriously enough from what I can read and see here on the website and on Twitter and a brief check on Discord. Moving on to happier topics. Offshift XFT is chartable on TradingView, because Uniswap has a feed to TradingView, and we have a chart Offshift versus Ether. As you can see, once again, this has charted very well, worked very well with large online. In 2020 until 2021, there was a downtrend. Then price came into a clear rectangle, which can be a strong bottom pattern. And large online turned gold, but it went into another rectangle formation, which can also be a strong top pattern. Large online turned blue around here. It continued down quite far. Then if we zoom in here, we can see that large online turned gold here, and then it's gone about 10x versus Ether from there. We don't have any USD chart on TradingView, but if we go into CoinMarketCap, we can see that the all-time high from February, March 2021 was just broken here around New Year. Then it's been...
We're just gonna go check this out one more time. I mean, yeah, it's gone up significantly. I would say there's definitely room for this to go down. But listen, it's a $76 million market cap, and if it's going to become a big project or rival or be one of the narratives, really, is like when the narrative catches on, all of the things in that narrative are going to go up. Dusk, Rose, Offshift. So you have to just decide from a portfolio allocation perspective, like how much do you want in each one.
Quite a bit of run up. So broke all-time high in most blockchain technology today, and I am certain that if we fast forward 10 years, 15 years, privacy features will be an obvious and necessary part of any blockchain protocol, just as we have SSL for all important transactions on the internet today, or we have encryption.
Yeah, so that's why this is such a big piece of technology and narrative. Like, this will 100% be a part of crypto. It needs to be solved, and it's very obvious. And so that's why it's a pretty good bet, because it's such a no-brainer. It's so well known. It's so obvious that if this is going to succeed, that privacy is going to be a big part of that. And everyone knows what these problems are now that we've had DeFi for a while. We've experimented with it. And so that's what, yo, Koala. That's what's happening in the space of DeFi. We need to figure out privacy.